Matt, firstly, how excited are you ahead of this weekend, Ireland v Scotland at the Aviva Stadium?
Yeah, Six Nations is just like no other tournament. It's it's my favourite tournament in the world. I really love the games every year. You know, I'm in a pretty privileged spot to sit down and watch them and talk to people about it. So yeah, I'm really excited for it. It's probably the most unknown Six Nations I can remember because we've got so many changes after the World Cup with coaches, a lot of personnel changes, and you've also got England, who are the World Cup finalists, that don't have any changes. They've got a lot of continuity. France that look to be really resurgent. All of these things we don't know. We don't know about the Irish coach. We don't know how Ireland are going to respond after a really poor World Cup. Wales with the new coach. But Wales have been so brilliant in the last few years. Will that matter too much? Are the players just going to keep it going? Like there's so much we don't know, which makes it quite exciting. So I'm really looking forward to all the games.
What do you think we can expect under new Ireland head coach Andy Farrell?
Well, Stuart, I think if anyone says they know, I think that's just speculation. We don't know. And we don't know because Andy's never been a head coach. He's been a fabulous rugby league player. He's been a highly respected assistant coach. Everyone that's worked with him has nothing but praise for him. So I really wish him well. I really hope he does well. But if you're asking me what evidence do we have of how he will coach that side, we don't have any because he's never been a head coach. We don't know how they're going to counterattack or if they are going to counterattack. He was hired under the auspices of keeping Joe Schmidt's legacy alive, of keeping that moving forward, what Joe did. Now, when he was appointed after the All Blacks game in 2018, that looked like a great idea. 12 months on, we're not so sure we want to keep that going. We don't, as a matter of fact, in my opinion, because while Joe Schmidt did a phenomenal job, at the end it just didn't work. And we shouldn't be taking anything away from Joe's wonderful legacy, but we just got to be honest too. The national team has to change direction. If he was a coach with history as a head coach at other organisations, other clubs, we could look at that and make some educated opinions and guesses or surmise what he might do. We don't have any of that, so we don't know. So when that ball gets kicked off on Saturday at the Aviva, it's a mystery. It's a mystery, and that makes it even more exciting to see. I hope he does really well. I hope the team do well. But for me to sit here and guarantee you how they're going to play, can't do it.
10 players start that lost to New Zealand in that World Cup. Did you expect them to make more changes?
There's two sides to this story. Depends what he's looking for. So if he's looking at World Cup 2023, yeah, they could have learned a lot more. But I don't think he can. I think he's got to make sure he survives as a coach first. And I don't blame him for that. It's an observation, not a criticism. And I think he's just trying to survive, just trying to get to the end of the season and make sure that his reputation is not damaged. And so he's gone for the safety first option. There's a few strange selections, even in the naming of the squad. I thought Rhys Ruddock has been the outstanding six in the country, and he didn't make the squad. Johnny Cooney must be feeling very, very hard done by because Conor Murray is one of Ireland's great halfbacks, but he's not in great form. And he hasn't been in great form for a considerable period of time, for over 12 months since his neck injury. So he didn't go for those, so he's gone for let's just stay with what I know. Now, he's been with the team and he knows the team well. He's not a new coach coming in. He's an assistant coach being promoted, so he knows these guys very well. So he's shown faith in them and given them opportunities. And I guess a lot of them deserve that opportunity. Against Scotland, that should be enough to win. It's not a fabulous Scottish side. But next week against Wales, I think that's where the rubber hits the road. That's where we'll really know whether the selections are right for him or not.
You spoke openly about Ireland maybe not evolving their game plan last year, and ultimately it cost them in the World Cup. What would you like to see Andy Farrell do to evolve that game plan?
Yeah, look, if I saw counter-attack from kicks, counter-attack from turnovers, if I saw the forwards running onto the ball, footwork from everyone before contact, forwards especially, not just running into people, running the ball at pace, accepting it while you're running, footwork before contact so you can get to the space between the defenders, fast ruck ball that's moved, changing the point of attack, not just the same way attack, getting back down the short side, some kicking in behind teams that are putting rushing defence in you, some aggressive short kicks, I'd be delighted. They don't have to win, but they have to show progress. Now, that will beat Scotland and it will move forward. If they go back to their old ways, and they might under pressure, they won't win games. They mightn't beat Wales. They certainly won't beat England away, and they might struggle with Wales away, which means they're only going to pick up Scotland and Italy. Now, that's not a good Six Nations, again. So they have to have that change to get some other wins up. If we can see that, one or two things in defence, because, look, we've got to say they shipped 50 points against New Zealand, they shipped 50 points against England in a warm-up game, and they shipped a lot against Japan. We need to see more physicality and determination in defence than we've seen. If we start seeing those things, that's progress.
Caelan Doris makes his debut. How excited are you to see him play?
Yeah, I got told about him. Victor Costello, the great number 8, told me about him. So I kept an eye out and watched him, and he has just developed so much this year, way beyond what I thought he could. And he's without doubt the best number 8 in Ireland. His ball carrying off the base of the scrum is really explosive, really quick. He makes the gain line. Good defender, another option in the line-out, big, tall, athletic man, and he's only 21. Wow, he's got a big future. So's Ronan Kelleher, the hooker on the bench. I think he would have started as well if he didn't have his injury. He missed a fair few games there in January and late December. But I think he's a really fabulous prospect as well. So there's two debutants for Ireland that are going to be, I think, are going to be long-term parts of the Irish team.
Bundyaki gets the nod over Robbie Henshaw at 12. Did you expect that?
The national coaches do tend to favour that combination of Bundyaki and Ringrose. I certainly would have had Henshaw there, and maybe I have to say that I don't watch Connacht every week, and maybe that's my failing. Bundyaki's never really let us down. He plays very, very well. I think Henshaw can feel hard done by, but Bundyaki may have earned that right to maintain his jersey, again under the coaches that know him and have been with him for a long time. But it's still a strong centre combination. If you select Bundyaki, and I've always believed we've used him the wrong way, this guy's a power athlete. Give him the ball and let him get you the gain line. Let him come forward and harden the ball. He's not a ball player. He's not a second 5'8", as the New Zealanders would say. He's not a ball player, but he's a power athlete. If they select him, let's use him as the power athlete he is. So again, that'd be something I'd like to see, that it would be a change from the past 12 months.
France have just picked their team. Their back line looks exciting with Dupont and Damac and Teddy Thomas, to name the rest of them.
Yeah.
And how excited are you to see them play?
Yeah, I just think they're the real bolters for this tournament. Sunday's game for me is the game of the weekend. New coaching staff. Sean Edwards is in the coaching staff, the famous Welsh defensive coach. Ernie Stripes at Wasps, won premierships, won the Heineken Cup there as defensive coach, with Warren Gatland being with him for years. And now France acknowledged they're technically behind in some areas, and they've brought in a foreigner. That's a big, big step for France. The French players have had the week off playing top 14. That's the first time they've ever done that. They usually have to play 7 days before the first round of the Six Nations. They have to play for their clubs. Fabien Galtier, the new coach, has somehow managed to change that, and they've been in camp for 2 weeks. All these are firsts for France. All these things are brand new. France have won the under-20s the last couple of years, of really powerful under-20 sides, and those young guys you just mentioned have been part of that winning. They brought them through. A new forward pack as well. It's going to be a really exciting time to watch this French team grow. This year might be a year too early for them, but I still think there's a strong chance of upsetting England. We really don't know, but something says this team's going to play differently. And I think England are overconfident, which when an English sides get overconfident, that's when they fail. But there's no doubt for me, England are the favourites right now. If they can keep themselves, their feet on the ground, and don't read their own press. They made the World Cup final, they've got continuity, same coach, really strong squad, good depth in each position. They'll be very, very hard to beat.
How excited are you to see some players, and what names would you throw out there?
Well, the two from Ireland that we said there, Doris Kelleher, really good young kids. Porter as well, off the bench for Ireland, I think is playing really exceptional rugby. I like to see how James Ryan keeps developing, certainly a future captain. I think it's a good decision not making captain. I think give him a bit more time to develop and grow and learn. If you look overseas, I'm really looking forward to seeing that French backline play. Dupont, for mine, is probably the best 9 in the Northern Hemisphere at the moment. Max growing as a 10 or a 12, he's really coming forward. And there's a number of those English players like Owen Farrell, who are really the best players in the world at the moment in their position. And you've got to enjoy watching them play. Farrell is quite superb how he goes about it. Maro Itoje is just a magnificent athlete. So to watch them play, as much as I don't like the white jersey, it'll be a pleasure to watch them play because they're great athletes.
And finally, you said England are favourites. How do you think Ireland will get on?
The Wales game next week will tell us. I don't know. We'll beat Italy and we'll beat Scotland, then the wheel's spinning. And that makes this tournament even more exciting. We'll know a lot more after Saturday and how they play, but the real crunch game for Ireland is Wales. I don't think they'll beat England in Twickenham, and I think they'll really struggle against France in Paris. So next Saturday at the Aviva against Wales, that's a day that will tell us a lot.